It's week 2 in the playoffs and it's time for the semifinals. Who will reign supreme in the Shield and Sword division and who will move on to the championship game? Episode 14 of PokeCentre starts right now. Welcome everyone to episode 14 of PokeCentre. We don't have time for any fancy intro or puns this week. We're going to get right into the matches. And the first is the final in the Shield division. And it's Jonas taking on Robin.
Jonas knows exactly what's good in this game. And that is Toxic Spikes. And Kafagrigas leading against Hariyama is great. It's going to remove the guts from Hariyama. And with Pain Split, Kafagrigas is going to stay healthy. And it's going to be able to whittle down the Hariyama a bit here. Really good lead by Jonas here, as expected.
Yeah, we got the Savali. I love to see it. It's got the 3 times in the attack, and it's going for the multi-attacks, and it's just going to destroy Robin's team. We talked about this a few weeks back when it came to the trade deadline, that maybe a player like Robin should have made a trade. He knew he had a fairy weakness going in, and he probably knew he was going to face Jonas in the finals of the Shield division here, and Jonas is going to exploit that weakness and just really start to break through his team with that Savali. You hate to see it, but you love to see it at the same time.
Yeah, with that rest talk, getting those pulls out was really helpful. It's a third chance, 1 in 3 chance to get the multi-attack when you use the sleep talk. So he was pretty lucky to get get that 1 kill there. But inevitably, Robin was able to knock it out. But like we said, that weakness should have been remedied before playoffs. But it wasn't all down for Robin. He had a ace, and his ace was Hypno. But unfortunately, we know Jonas is always prepared when it comes to stopping opponents from setting up. He has the substitute taunt Kabalion to stop this Hypno set, which, with Calm Mind, with Barrier, and with, perfect psychic coverage, it actually could have done some pretty damn impressive work against Jonas. But, like I said, Jonas is always prepared, and this is what makes him, one of the best players in this league. Robin would fight this one out, but the match was inevitably in Jonas's hands after the Savali, smashed through most of the team, in my opinion.
Yeah, pretty much. Jonas takes game 1, and now let's move on to game 2. Alright, here we go. It is game 2 of Jonas and Robin.
Yep, and starting things off, Robin's going, offensive with this Yanmega, and I really love this Pokemon in a match against Jonas. In a lot of ways, its stabs are very unguardable, and it's such a powerful Pokemon. Look at how much damage it's dishing out, and being played this early is great. I gave Robin good kudos for that. Now, at this point of the match, he's getting those Toxic Spikes back up, and Robin's actually going to make a really aggressive play that kind of bites him in the butt here. He's going to make a switch anticipating the body press. Is actually going to get caught by a Shadow Ball. I thought that was a really big turning point in this match. Really hurt Robin's chances to be able to defog those T-Spikes away.
Okay, let's talk about this Tauros. So this Tauros is on a mission, and that mission is to chop the hell out of everything that is in front of it. It's going to crush the larynx of all of Jonas's Pokemon. At least it's going to try to. It's just going to chop and chop and chop like it's chopping wood, and I love to see it. That's some good aggression on Robin's part there. He's trying something at this point to break through Jonas.
He really was making the plays, but, Jonas' team is so suffocating with those Toxic Spikes, with the stalling, and then just when you think you got something going, he's taking advantage of that fairy weakness again. And look at these lucky multi-attack sleep talk pulls. It just worked really well. And then, the Fraligator's in, maybe got some chance to start punching more holes, but the Lantern's just going to be able to outstall it, and it's just so tough. And Robin's not going to be able to pull through, and Jonas is going to be able to snag up this win.
Yeah, Jonas is going to pick up the win, like you said. Another sweep for Jonas. Didn't really break much of a sweat in this series here. but now we know he's moved on to the finals. A great season by Robin, but Jonas is moving on. Alright, so we already know that Jonas is in the finals, but who is facing him? Is either you, Calvin, or your brother William? Let's find out.
Well, I thought I was leading well with this nasty plot, Rotom Frost, but the thing is, that damn Frostlass was life orbed, and it's going to 2-hit KO my Rotom. Wow, not a great start. And I'm going to go to Slazzle, I'm going to anticipate the camera up to come in, click the HP Water, and nope, he stays in with the Frostlass. Things are not looking good on my side. I'm already down 2 Pokemon. And then this camera is going to be able to take out the Drudgegon, which is definitely not good, especially since all of Williams' physical attackers are still in the field. But the special attacking Tauros, it finally makes its come-ins in this match and is able to weaken the Camerupt. And with the Camerupt knocked out later by Stealth Rocks and the Frostlass being taken out early game, that gives this Bronzong set that didn't quite work for me during the season a chance to shine. That's right. Calm Mind, Protect, Shadow Ball, and Psychic. I was able to set up and take on the last bunch of his physical attackers and guarantee the sweep. Very happy with this win.
I can tell. You sound like you're pretty happy with this win. I guess it is good to see that you're able to pull off this set that you tried to pull off in your regular season match with William. And I think it's probably safe to assume that in this match, you probably were not throwing around your laundry basket after you won this time. I'm just going to assume that on the safe side of things. But Calvin, you got the win in Game 1, but it's not over yet. We go to Game 2 now. It is now time for Game 2 of Calvin and William. Now this time it's going to feel like deja vu because we got the Frostlass against the Rotom, but not this time because this time the Rotom has Life Orb on it and it's going to take out the Frostlass with a Thunderbolt. Whew. Not falling for it again, hey Calvin?
Nope. And William's going to start setting up the Regirock with some curses. But unfortunately, he's actually not going to have the best coverage, apparently, after talking to him afterwards. He didn't really have anything that was going to damage the Marowak very well. He was running Stone Edge and Brick Break. So it was kind of a silly attempt here for him to keep cursing over and over again, knowing that, he was able to tank those Bone Rings okay, but the problem is he can only take so many, and Marowak does have that immediate power. Now, Wim's going to make a great double switch here, bringing in the Camerupt on my Bronzong. And, yeah, it's going to go down there, give William a nice early kill there. And speaking of this Camerupt, it's going to come in after Slazzle's knocks out a Pokemon, and it's just going to rampage on these last few Pokemon. This is why this Pokemon's a huge threat against my team, and why I just didn't want to bring Trick Room to him in the first place, because it can just take out all my walls, and it's typically slower than all my slow Pokemon, so it's just not... It was a huge problem, and this is definitely what gave William the big win this game.
Yeah, William wins here, and we got ourselves a series. We're going to Game 3. And now for the third and final game in these semifinals. Who's going on to face Jonas? Calvin, take it away.
Well, I'm going to lead off with Slazzle, and I'm not going to overpredict this time. I'm just going to go for the Flamethrower on the Regirock. But this time I am going to make a great prediction here. I'm going to get the Will-O-Wisp on the Regirock as he overpredicts and goes for a Toxic. That was a really important turn for me, I believe. Later on, I'm going to try to utilize this weakened Regirock to set up some screens. Thought it would be the best time to get that going. Able to get Reflect, Light Screen. But William's smart and brings the Brick Break. He knows that the screens are good against him. And, man, this Bolt Hunt was a threat and narrowly just misses out on the KO in the Serena, letting it get the Reflect up. And now this special attacking Tauros is in and is actually going to go for the workup, raising the special attack. And this is huge. It's going to be able to knock out all of William's slower, bulky Pokemon because they all share water and fire weaknesses. And if this wasn't a Salt Vest after Stealth Rocks, this is a guaranteed KO. But he's going to tank the hit. But with that Reflect up, Tauros is just going to be able to take that Meteor Mish and the follow-up Bullet Punch quite easily. Now, the Boltund was the major threat in Williams' team in the later end of this game. But I saved that Rotom's full health because I knew it was going to be important and barely lived the Fire Fang, ensuring that I could take out the Boltund And this bear, the Were, was just not going to be able to take out everything with its slow speed.
Yeah, so Calvin, you're going to wrap things up here. You have won the series against William. It was a close series, hard fought by William as well, but you're moving on. It's going to be you and Jonas in the finals of this tournament. Whew, exciting. Alright, now we have our final set. It's going to be you, Calvin, taking on Jonas. But before we break down that match and give our predictions, we did have a couple of exhibition matches that were played this week, and we're going to cover them. And we're going to start off with our first one, and that's going to be Sean going against Brian.
Yeah, this is going to be the Sun versus Sun matchup that we've all kind of been thinking about. And, you know, Sean's going to Volt Switch with the Electros, and he's going to bring Venusaur in right away. Very nice of Brian to set up the Sun for the Venusaur. It's just going to allow it to click buttons, and, you know, that's what Venusaur does best. It just clicks buttons, and it takes out Pokemon, and that's Savali's just going to go down to a Weather Ball. And, yeah, no, Sean's doing really good this match so far. And the Houndoom's just going to fire off a big flamethrower on that Quagsire. Solar Power is one hell of a ability with the Sun up there, that's for sure. The Electros going to take an unfortunate critical hit against the Meloetta. Had it not taken that, it might have been able to deal with the punishment coming up soon. But, you know, Brian's going to pivot around it really well here. He's going to bring in the Mega Houndoom, and he's going to take it out with Dark Pulse. So there goes the Electros, which is good for Meloetta, because that Pokemon can set up a substitute later on, somewhat freely. And it's just going to wait for this Torkoal to get paralyzed eventually, which it's actually going to happen here on the very last turn of him possibly getting a substitute up, which is going to grant Brian the win. So, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I would think this is a fun exhibition match. This is what this exhibition matches are all about, is seeing the two divisions go at it. And like you said, Sun versus Sun. A lot of fun here. Brian picks up a win and a fun match, and good for Brian. This was a good one. Making sure your plate was nice and full, Calvin, you also played an exhibition match against Laurel, giving her a little bit of an ass kicking before I give her one this weekend. Not that I need any help.
Wow, there is nothing really serious about this match. It was just a friendly match. But there was some nefarious intent on my part. I knew she was mono, basically weak to ice, so I brought this substitute Rotom Frost. But as you can see, Mega Banette is just being a real nuisance, and though I tried my hardest to stall all the Destiny Bonds, I just, you know, she got me with the double Shadow Claws, and then I was running low on HP, and well, it does what it does best. It just takes out the overwhelming sweeper on the opposing team, so that worked out for her. But the true king is about to arrive. Bow down, everyone, to the true Pokemon that should have actually been a real commander in this entire tournament. Yes, that's right. Sea King is here, and it's in the rain with Swiss Swim. And what's this? Oh, it's max attack and max special attack with Life Orb. Nothing could take on this beast of a Mon.
Wow, Calvin, that's super impressive. And I'm glad you're able to have this fun, friendly battle with Laurel. But let me assure you, everyone listening and watching, and of course assure Laurel as well, that there will be nothing friendly about our battle this week. I cannot wait to finally kick her ass. Alright, now we're really looking at this playoff bracket for the last time. This is how everything played out. So Calvin, you took the win on the sword side, you made it all the way to the finals, and on the shield side, it was Jonas that made it to the finals on his division. So now what does that mean? That means that you and Jonas will clash in the finals of this tournament, Season 7 of the NCPL's Commander Draft Tournament. We will find out who the winner will be and the next entrant into the Hall of Fame. Personally, I cannot wait to see what's going to happen here in this match. It's so much is going on. Jonas is going for his third straight win in a tournament with us here, going for the three-peat. We had the reference to Michael Jordan last week. I got another Michael Jordan reference in this week, going for a three-peat. And Calvin, you have not won a tournament since you and I won a tournament in Team League 2. So, of course, I know you're itching to get back into the top spot here, into the Hall of Fame. For myself, personally, I'm thinking about this match. I commented about it earlier on the Facebook page. and I find it so hard to bet against Jonas. You know, he went 11-0, plus 51 differential. He swept both of his opponents in the playoffs, being Jared and now Robin. It's like we haven't seen any weakness come from this guy at all in this tournament. So it's so hard to bet against a player like that. How do you say that Jonas is going to lose so that you're going to be able to beat Jonas? But then on the other side, I got to go with my gut and what I feel and what I think is going to happen. And Calvin, I can't doubt you. You're my co-host here on PokeCentre. You're my buddy. You're my homie. You're my blood. And I think at the end of the day, you will beat Jonas. I know you're going to do whatever it takes. You're going to put your all into this match. And I'm calling it. I already said it on the Facebook page earlier. I'm saying it again right here on PokeCentre. Calvin, I think you're going to take the win. What do you think as you head into this match? Maybe the biggest match in your Pokemon life. What do you think as you head into the finals of Season 7?
Well, I definitely see what everybody says. You know, as the admin of this group, I do a lot of reading. You know, I'm always hearing people's words and their thoughts and opinions on things. And there's been a lot of adulation towards Jonas ever since he's joined our group. You know, back in Season 5 when he made his grand debut, came in. You know, he did the same thing he's done here in Season 7. Came in, went completely undefeated, and won a championship. You know, really big for him. Then he went on to Season 6. He had a couple losses during the season, but once again would go on to win in the finals. Got himself a second championship. And like you're saying, it's looking like it's going to be a three-peat. It's going to happen again. And, you know, everybody's saying, oh, JoJo, the Iceman, you know, he is the protagonist and everyone else is the side character. Yeah, well, that's fucking bullshit. You know, ever since he's come into my group, he's taken my mantle away from me. You know, he's stolen my throne. I was the measuring stick before. I was the number one player. I was the player that people looked at and were like, oh, I'm not winning against that guy this week. But ever since he stepped into my arena, I've been on the back foot. I've been number 2. And that eats me up. That makes me angry. That makes me mad. But it also inspires me to fight harder, to prep harder, to do better. You know, he is an amazing player. He's got a great team. He knows how to draft well. He preps amazingly. And wow, his records show it. But you know, there's a difference between me and everyone else here in the NCPL. I don't give up when I see a player like Jonas. I get fired up. I get pumped up. I put my 100% into my matches. I'm not going up against Jonas thinking that I'm going to lose. I'm going for blood. You know, I want to win this match. I want to reclaim my title. I want to be the best in this league. I want to prove it. And yeah, I know a lot of people are saying that I have the matchup, but in their hearts, they know Jonas is going to win. Jonas is the number one, you know. They say he's unstoppable. He's just unbeatable. Nobody is on his level. You know, they adore this man like a superhero. Well, you know what? He might be Superman for all of you, but that makes me his kryptonite. Look at all of Jonas's losses in the NCPL. They've been to me. Yeah, that's right. When I fight Jonas, I either give him the match of his life or I bring him to his knees. Mark my words, Jonas. In the finals, I hope to take you down and to take the NCPL championship, and it will be me who gets to be etched into the Hall of Fame again.
Wow. Wow. Well said. Well said. If I was already hyped going into this match, and I'm even more hyped about it now. And I can tell you're fired up, and that gets me fired up too. And that's going to do it for us here on this week of PokeCentre. Next week, we got a huge episode. Our biggest episode ever. We're going to have coverage of the finals of the NCPL, the Commander Draft Tournament. Will Calvin beat Jonas? Will Jonas go get the three-peat and get his third straight championship win here in this league? You have to tune in to find out. We'll have that. We'll have exhibition matches, including myself against Laurel. I'm finally going to give her the ass kicking that she's needed all these years. We're going to reveal the winners of the Player Awards and the Pokemon Awards. We're going to be wrapping up the whole Season 7 here at the NCPL right here on PokeCentre next week. We hope you all tune in. Your Pokemon have been rested up, and we hope to see you soon.